What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are doing the social anxiety disorder test. I'm now going to chuck that on to record and let's get into it. Cool. I will sort of, obviously it's going to be on the side of the screen there, move myself out from behind it. But yeah, how often do you avoid the following situations? I did try doing this test before. I know that there are 24 questions, as you can see. And I did even write down my answers from last time. I know what my score was last time. I'm going to see how differently it goes this time around though. So how often do I avoid meeting someone new for the first time? Never do that. How often do I avoid public speaking? This one's... I'm gonna go often. If I can avoid it, I will. Public speaking is not something I enjoy doing. These videos are a little bit different, but I'll get into that once I've finished doing the test itself. How often do I avoid making eye contact with someone I've just met? Sometimes. Sometimes I just get like a certain vibe, or I'm within myself really self-conscious because like that person is so amazing that I feel like I'm not worthy to gaze upon them. Number 4, how often do I avoid being tested or assessed, particularly when I know people will likely know or be able to find out the result? I do these tests on the internet, for the internet, to see. So never. Easy one. How often do I avoid using a public restroom where others might see me? Never. Like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Wouldn't it be more embarrassing and therefore more anxiety and stress inducing to avoid that and accidentally soil yourself in some way? How often do I avoid being the focus of attention or the person everyone's listening to? Look, I'm gonna put never here, but the reason for that is I have enough time just trying to be one of the side characters in someone else's story right now. So it's... yeah. How often do I avoid speaking to a teacher, manager, or someone in authority? Sometimes. I mean, for the most part, you know, they're the people that are going to be able to solve my issue. However, if someone lower down is able to solve my issue, I don't need to speak to someone higher up, do I? So like, let's just get my issue out the way, inconvenience as few people as possible, and we'll all just get on with our lives. Sounds good to me. How often do I avoid expressing a difference of opinion with someone I just met? I've just met them. At this point, I owe them a total sum of absolutely fuck all. So, never. How often do I avoid speaking to someone I don't know on the phone? I don't know people that work at AIPT, which is who I'm doing my PT course with at the moment. I don't know people that, you know, that work in like the admissions team at AFTRS. I don't know people who work in customer service at Telstra. We get the picture. All the important sort of services that I need in my life. I don't know those people. I've still got to talk to them on the phone. Number 10, how often do I avoid taking unwanted purchases back to the store? As you've just seen, I've just pressed never. The reason for that is that I don't buy things I'm gonna regret later. I genuinely think things through of where am I gonna use this, what's it gonna add to my life, etc. And then, yeah. So question 11, how often do I avoid situations where someone might try to sell me something? Never. Here's why. It's a two-sided thing. On one hand, when I'm going into situations where I want to buy something, the whole idea is that they want to sell it to me. On the other hand, if there's something that I don't want to buy, but someone's trying to sell it to me, I can try to avoid that as much as I want. Telemarketers are still gonna call your bloody phone. That's just how the world works, unfortunately. How often do I avoid speaking in person with someone new? I actually prefer that. Although that being said, I did only sort of meet Kyle in person earlier this year. We've been internet friends for a while, but I would generally prefer to speak to new people in person as much as possible. Never. How often do I avoid making calls in public or whether other people can hear me? I'm gonna go with often for this one, because even like making these videos, other side of that cupboard is my sister's bedroom. I'm making this video and I can hear her watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever, so she almost can certainly hear me. And I am super self-conscious about it. It's fun. How often do I raise a point or ask a question in a work meeting or class? Sometimes, and it's usually only when I feel like it's a really important thing to ask and no one's asked it yet. And then the class goes quiet, the teacher asks like one more time, like, is there anyone else that had something that they wanted to talk about? Yeah, like, why is no one talking about this? Just, and then usually that's when people are like, oh yeah, because everything else that I want to ask is generally like the sorts of things that everybody else wants to ask. And so my questions get answered without me even having to raise my hand. It's great. How often do I avoid socializing with others when alcohol is present? Again, I'm the side character to someone else's story, and they're just not wanting to do my side quest. So I'm that one NPC that was like put in with like this minor side quest, and everyone's like, do I really need 100% on this game though? So it's not that I'm trying to avoid those situations, it's that I'm not getting invited. So we're gonna go never. How often do I avoid writing or typing while others are watching me? Sometimes. I mean, yeah, we'll go sometimes. I mean, I've already pressed it, so we'll go sometimes. But that's not because I don't, that I'm self-conscious about how I write or whatever. It's that if they've come over to a conversation with me while I'm writing or typing, I stop doing that to give that person my full attention, because manners are important, boys and girls. How often do I avoid shared meals in a gathering or group? Again, sometimes you just need space from humans, because humans are kind of disgusting, just like as a species. How often do I avoid being the last to walk into a room or entering a room after a meeting has started? The walking in last thing, that could, for me particularly, that is usually because I've held the door for the people walking in before me. It may not mean that I am the last person in, but I'm the last person to walk in that particular situation, and with that particular group. As for walking in after a meeting has started, if I'm late, I am late. that doesn't mean that my attendance to, you know, like a compulsory meeting or something is now voluntary. I've still got to be there, so I can't avoid it, so never. Number 19, how often do I avoid joining in a team or group activities? I mean, if it's like, you know, doing team building exercises, or here's a group project for you to do, I can't really avoid them. But if it's things like, you know, those guys over there are doing something that they have voluntarily chosen to make a group situation happen over there, and I'm just over here vibing out on my own, I'm already vibing. I don't want none of that. That's already an option, and I'm still choosing this. So don't come over here asking me if I want to be part of it, because I've already chosen. If I wanted to be part of that, I would have come over and like, hey, can I join? So yeah, never. How often do I avoid appearing in a play or musical performance? I literally post song covers on this channel. I haven't for the last couple of months, because, you know, my anxiety about recording where people can hear me, and lockdown really butted heads there. But otherwise, never. Number 21, how often do I avoid meeting new people that I might want to date? So there's two ways about this, and both of them end up leading me to the same answer. On the one hand, if it's that I'm just meeting somebody new, like completely new, I don't know that I want to date them until I've met them and had like a conversation with them. And I was like, oh yeah, they're kind of interesting. Have more conversations with them. Oh yeah, we could be really good friends. Have more conversations with them. Find out more stuff about them. And then I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, really. So that's the one hand. On the other hand, if it's something like, you know, streamers and influencers or celebrities or whatever, that it's like, if I ever had the chance, that's what I would want to go. You know, like I'd want to go out with them. Then, like, avoiding meeting them kind of goes against the whole wanting to date them thing, because relationships generally involve quite a heavy amount of personal interaction, which means you need to have met and conversed and know stuff pretty intricately in most cases for that to happen. So never. Number 22, how often do I avoid completing tasks where others are watching me? This one's another never, because then if I stuff up thinking I've done it right, then I'll be like, hey, did you pick up the error there because you did that wrong? And then I'm able to be like, okay, well, how's it supposed to be done? Because I thought I did it right. And then they're able to show me, and I can be like, oh yeah, that makes more sense. And you learn. So never for me. Number 23, how often do I avoid arranging family gatherings with family or friends? I'm literally in the middle of organising a games night sort of coming up this Friday with some friends. The weekend after that, yes. The weekend after that, my birthday's on the Monday, and that is also a long weekend, so trying to plan something for that. I know a friend of mine and his fiance are going camping, and I did also mention to that same friend that, you know, I'd like to go camping with them at some point. Whether that ends up being that same camping trip is, if I'm being completely honest, it's probably unlikely, but that idea is out there, that we could have that group activity. Yeah, so I like arranging and planning things. I'm that friend of the group. And then the last one is, how often do I avoid attending gatherings with friends or family? If I'm the one organising them, I'm obviously going to attend them. It's not like I'm going to plan, you know, to go to a movie with a bunch of friends of mine who some of them may never have met each other, and they'd be like, okay, you got this, right? Yep, cool, I'll see you afterwards. No, I organise that because I want to go. You're coming with me, I'm going with you. Like, it's... Okay, cool. We then get the screen here where we just skip to get our results. Now my number last time was 13, so what have we got here? A lowest score. Interesting. Either way, both scores were still under 15, so both of them are still in that low social anxiety range, which you can see at the bottom there under the little ring. 48 to 72 is extreme social anxiety. I cannot fathom, because like I said, most of the things that this particular quiz was asking about, I'm able to sort of look at subjectively and with a little bit of logic. There are certain things where my general anxiety sort of kicks up, and I think that's why I've got the 9 there. But otherwise, I'm fairly like ambiverted. I've got times where, don't touch me, people are gross, I'm gonna shut myself in this room with all of the things in this world that give me life, and other times it's like, this room is a prison and I want to go and enjoy everything outside that gives me life. And it really just depends on what mood you catch me in, and if that's not the most Libra thing you've ever heard in your life, I don't know what is. But yeah. Now I was gonna look at something. Before, wasn't I? I cannot, for the life of me, remember what it was. So that's fun. Was it this? I can't remember what it was. It's completely gone from my mind. I know I promised you that I'd go back and look at something, but I can't remember what it was. So instead, we're just going to finish up the video with our questions for myself. Today's is number 13, which is here. And it is, who is one person that I really look up to that has already achieved what I want to achieve? What steps, actions, and paths have they taken to get there, and how can I learn from them to fast track my own success? And honestly, it's a really difficult one because I've got a bunch of different goals. So like on one hand, as a writer specifically here, obviously Stan Lee is a big inspiration. He like almost single-handedly created the Marvel multiverse in the comics, which has then been turned into the movies that I love so much. And you know, I love DC too. Batman Day was just a couple of days ago, so I love DC too. but I'm just more of a Marvel person myself. I always sort of have been. But yeah. So he'd be one, and the things that I would learn from him and stuff is that, you know, like to sort of take a little bit of inspiration from the everyday and then just add in sort of one little spark of imagination, of fantasy, of but what if this happened and caused this? Where would that person be afterwards? And I usually try to put that into my writing. But then other things are like, you know, like I would love to have this and like social media just in general be something that I can sustainably do as a job. And there are a number of influences that I want to sort of emulate the success of. You know, like, and I've even got like a full like social media plan sort of thing that I'm going to try and start implementing sort of in December. I mean, I'm already starting to change a little bit at the moment as we're sort of progressing through these last couple of months, while I'm sort of trying to shift my life from finishing the course that I'm currently on into starting AFTRS next year. We are manifesting that hard. But yeah, you know, so the content as of sort of next year that's going to be on this channel is not going to be the all over the shop multi-genre stuff that has sort of come to be expected, I suppose, of this channel. With that means that less content is being uploaded, so I have more time to actually make it good. All of my like new age metaphysical stuff, my astrology, my witchcraft and Wiccan and paganism and all that stuff is going over to TikTok. This is going to sort of become more of a sort of like lifestyle sort of channel. I'm going to be putting a lot of like my cosplay stuff on Instagram. I'm going to start like I want to start streaming and do all of like my gaming stuff on Twitch. Gonna have hopefully a podcast where I'm able to sort of, I don't know yet if that's going to be like a pop culture sort of TV and movies thing, or if that's going to be more of a conspiracy theories sort of thing. Honestly, my mate that I'm going to be doing that with and we've sort of talked back and forth about like, yeah, we could do this and this is what we're going to do, and then it's become, oh no, but we want to talk about this stuff. So we're still sort of deciding what that's going to be. I want to have like you know, if it does end up being the conspiracy theory stuff, I want to have a Discord server where I talk about the pop culture stuff, and we can like put theories and stuff out there for everyone to enjoy. And if the podcast ends up being that, and all the conspiracy stuff's going to be going on like Reddit and that sort of thing. So there's still some pieces that I haven't really figured out where they're going to go yet. But it is sort of all in the process, and I'm looking forward to being able to start making some of that content, because I'm also going to be challenging myself to make it at a higher quality to what it is currently, and then hopefully that, and just being able to use different platforms to explore different facets of myself in more depth, rather than trying to make the one platform entry level for everybody. Hopefully that will then help me sort of kick off and start reaching those same sorts of goals and stuff. So that's sort of where I'm at in regards to that question. But yeah, that's all I've got for this video. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. If you enjoyed this one, please give it a big old thumbs up. The link to the test that I did will be in the description down below, as well as the question of the day, as always, for you to answer in the comments if you so choose. Honestly, it would mean a lot if you could answer literally any of the questions on any of my videos, basically until I run out of questions in this book. They're all gonna have one. I at the moment don't know when that will be, but yeah, with all that being said and done, until next time guys, keep your head screwed on.